All right, let's give this a shot here. First off, thanks for all the support on the channel. The last couple of weeks, things have really took off. I had a couple of requests for questions and whatnot, and I try to answer every comment, even if it's a thumbs up or thanks for watching. If somebody took the time to write me, I try to take the time and at least acknowledge that I read their comments. So thank you very much for all of that. Real quick, the reason I started making these videos, I'd been driving for about 25 years. I'd kind of hit a rut, and I started watching Casey Neistat on YouTube. He's a big YouTube guy. He's not a truck driver. He's got about 6 million followers. He was doing a daily vlog, and I really enjoyed it. His videos have a lot of scenery, a lot of like daily action stuff. They're excellent. And I just think, man, that is really cool. You know, just to watch. He throws in a little bit of philosophy in there with it. And then I started watching Allie Knight. And if you found me, you know who she is. And I really liked her videos. You know, a lot of scenery, good music. So I thought, you know, that's pretty cool. And I really like that kind of style. So I was that's kind of how my videos are. I like that style, a little bit of music, a little bit of scenery. I want somebody that that doesn't know anything about trucking to stumble across my video and goes, hey, that's pretty interesting. I like watching that. Pretty entertaining. So that's why, and I started making these videos. My wife and I, we went on vacation. I made a couple little videos in Las Vegas of our vacation. And you know, I might put a link down in the description, so go check, see if I put it in there. But it's some of my little first video creations, so they might be entertaining. But anyway, that's why I make these videos. When I started this, it never really was meant to be a how-to video of how to do this or how to do that. It just kind of morphed into that. And even today, I honestly, I don't like doing so much how-to. I don't like giving opinions about different companies, what company's better, what companies, all companies. I mean, that's a personal decision of you know, what company's better than the other. You know, I like Mercer, but you know, I'm not here to promote Mercer. I'm just, you know, that's who I work for. So anyway, that's enough of that. A little intro. So thank you for all the questions. We're gonna knock these out real quick. I'll try to keep this fairly short. I get rambling a little bit here. Can you tell us your background in trucking and how did you get started? And then there's another question about, did I retire from the Army? No, I spent about 6 years in the Army. I graduated high school in 1987. 2 weeks after I graduated, I went into the Army. I was in the Signal Corps in the Army. And then kind of transitioned into the motor pool, worked on trucks, played with trucks and everything else. As a child, even as a little boy, you know, it was always trucks. I loved trucks. And I'm trying to get that camera just right. There we go. I love trucks. And so when I got out of the Army, I went to work for a little moving company. I did not go to school. The owner was certified by the state to give the driving test. So I did not really have any formal training. I went out with the owner of the company for a couple trips, and he taught me how to drive. So, you know, a lot of my driving techniques are from him from a long time ago, how he drove. So I didn't go to a school. I was a mover for 18 years before I became a flatbedder. So I was the guy that would drive up to your house, load up all your furniture, and take you to the next house. The majority of my work was working for the military, moving the military soldiers. So that's kind of how, you know, I got started in the trucking industry. The moving industry, especially the military side, kind of fell apart in about 2007. The rates got really bad. The way they awarded shipments really changed, and it was really hard. I don't want to say make money, but it was just a different game, and it was time to make a change. So I had known about Mercer for a long time. Even when I was a mover, I had known about Mercer. I seen their trucks. I talked to their drivers in the truck stop. So I knew where I wanted to go when I decided to quit household goods. So that's a little bit of history of me. Did I retire from the Army? No. We'll go to it. There is a retirement question. I'll get to it in just a minute because it comes up again. Let's see here. Where's number 3? Okay, here's a good one. Do you consider it a job or a career? And I consider me a career. I am a professional truck driver. Now, when the economy kind of took a crap, to me, a job is where you go to make money to pay your bills. A career is what you do because you enjoy it. So, that's how I distinguish between job and a career. And so, I've always considered myself a career. Now, if times got rough and I couldn't drive a truck, I would go get a job to pay the bills. Whatever it was, to me, that's a job. When times got rough, a lot of people turned to trucking as a job, as a last resort. And I don't want to say the quality, but there's just, you could tell the difference between the guys out here that were a career truck driver. I don't care if you're a company owner operator, a career truck driver, and the guys who were just out here to collect the paycheck. And I know every generation says that, but you could tell the difference, even today. But I'm not here to judge. You got to do what you got to do to pay the bills. So, all right, that was number 3. Where's number 4? I printed them all out. Oh, let me hit this retirement question real quick. As an owner operator, that's one of the hardest things to do is retirement. Me personally, I suck at managing money. I know how to make money, but I really suck at managing money. And you have to have, especially as an owner operator, a lot of self-discipline to put money away for retirement. And I didn't. So I always joke around, I have to work till I'm dead. Which, that's just the way things are. As we're working for a big carrier, it kind of goes back to career. I've had people say, well, why don't you go work for a big company and, get retirement, get health insurance and everything else. I always, when I became an owner operator, it wasn't about the money. It was I wanted to own and operate a truck. I enjoy the challenge of owning a truck. Now, sometimes, without family, I wouldn't have made it, but, I enjoy operating. For a better word, I love trucks. I love every aspect of trucks. And I know that's a weird thing to say. I'm almost 50 years old, but, even today, this old truck, I know every nut and bolt on this old truck. I've owned this truck since new. So, I just love trucks. So anyway, that's a little bit of history of me. I didn't mean to get sad there for a little bit, but, bottom line with owner-operator, I get asked a lot, how much money can you make? And I've tried to cover that on my little bit of videos of, how much money you can make. And I guess the point that I was trying to make with the videos is that, you can't say you're going to make this much money because it depends how much. I will say this. As a flatbed driver, you should be able to make somewhere between $150,000 to $180,000 a year, owner-operator. Now, how much money you spend out of that $150,000, $180,000 to make that money, that's how much money you make. So you have to sit down and add up all your bills and take it out. And, and if you are a smart businessman and, and plan for retirement and everything else, it can be good, but if you're looking for a career, you can be an owner operator and have a career, and you can go drive for a company. If I would have stayed, JB Hunt, Schneider or something like that for 20 something years, I'd have one hell of a career. I don't know if that would have happened, but, anyway, okay, that's enough of that. Let's just kind of hit some of these questions real quick. Here's one. How long have you been with Mercer? I've been with Mercer for about 6 years. And then the next part of this question is kind of inside for Mercer. Do you use a coordinator for loads, or do you use a load board, or a combination of both? 99% of the time, I use my coordinator. That's the way Mercer works. That's how their system is set up. And when they say coordinator, some companies give you a dispatcher. And to me, a dispatcher says you're going to go here, 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 and here. Coordinator, I tell the coordinator, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. I want to go here, here, and here. And she punches all that information in the computer. It spits it out. And then she calls me up and says, hey, do you want to do this, this, and this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Well, then she makes the phone calls. She coordinates all of the information. So then she'll come up and she'll call me and say, Dan, you're dispatched on that load going to wherever. No problem. Thank you. So, to me, the way Mercer works is you utilize the coordinator. I can't sit there and watch the phone all day and watch the computer. So, and that's kind of a little inside for Mercer. And I'm not here to promote Mercer. I mean, Mercer is just a company I work for. So, let's see. Well, what do you think of the future of the trucking industry? I think when I first came on in 11 and 12, man, there was a little boom on the flatbed side. And so I came in on a good time. The last couple of years have been a little rough, but they are expecting rates to pick up. And I recommended this to people. I always try to read a little bit of article on the trucking industry, flatbed, stuff like that. Just kind of keep tabs on what's going on. So yeah, I do think things are going to look good. Let's see. What is your favorite brand of truck? I'm not brand loyal. I mean, I ended up with a Peterbilt because I got a good deal. I went to the Peterbilt dealer. I had an old JB Hunt cab over, which was my first truck as owner-operator. And I went in there and said, I need a truck. This old cab over is wore out. I need a truck. And the guy said, I can make you a deal on this truck. And that's how I ended up with this truck right here. So, I'm not, and, people say, oh, well, you're going to buy a new truck. Most likely, I will not buy a new truck. I will buy another truck probably, but I'm not going to buy a new truck. And if I buy another truck, my payment's going to be around $1,400 a month. Most likely, I'm probably going to end up with a Volvo or an International with probably a Cummins engine in it. Is probably what I will end up somewhere with 400,000 to 500,000 miles with a payment of about $1,400 if I decide to go for another truck. But that's kind of where I look, and that's what I recommend, for new guys. Don't jump into these huge truck payments. It can be tough. It can be real tough. Let's see here. Let me find what is a reliable source for load securement requirements? Mercer, they give us these little things. I found this in my glove box. It's a little slide thing. It's hard to see on the camera, but it tells you how many binders you need. The other resource I would say is the internet. Just Google it. Load securement. There's all kinds of information comes up. If you found me on YouTube, you know how to work the computer. So, I recommend Google. Whenever I have a question of load securement or, hey, how do you do this? I mean, I go to YouTube too. I look on YouTube to see what's going on. Or, I Google it, and, some of these big carriers, they have their safety videos out and the securement videos. So, as for a good resource, I would say the computer. They do sell a little truck stop handbook for load securement, and to learn the basics of, how many straps and this and that. But once you learn the basics, it's pretty easy after that. Let's see here. Let's go on. Here we go. I've had a couple questions for best instructions on how to load a spread axle. That also goes with how to use a cat scale. I had a request to make a video about a cat scale. And believe it or not, I had already thought about the cat scale video. So I am going to make a video of how to use a cat scale, but I want to show the platforms. I want to show driving on. And then on the other side of that, I'm going to show how to distribute the weight on the trailer and explain the spread axle compared to a tandem axle. Real quick, spread axle. Here you go. Here's your spread axle. You're allowed 20,000 pounds on each axle. So you're allowed a total of 40,000 pounds on the trailer axles. tandem axles, wheels are next to each other, you're allowed 34,000 pounds on a set of tandems. So with a spread axle, it's a little more forgiving for the weight distribution on the trailer. And if you want to distribute the weight on the trailer, you have to move the commodity on the trailer. So it's not, you can't really move an axles on the spread. You can't really, some guys move their fifth wheel. But I will explain all that. I am going to make a video of that, so I am going to do that. Let's see. And here's another Mercer question. And I recommend, if you have any Mercer recruiting questions, call them. Like I said, I'm not here to promote Mercer, and I don't want to give out wrong information. I don't know the exact details of what it takes to lease on, because it's been a long time since I've done it. But his question was, did the company give you equipment and then take money out of your settlements to pay for it? Excuse me. Including the headache rack. I believe Mercer has a program for that. They will kind of allot a certain amount. But once again, that's kind of a recruiting question, and I recommend, and I'll put a link in the description for Mercer if you are interested to contact them, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to answer those questions. Hang on one second. All right. Here's another kind of Mercer question. Fueling. How is fueling billed to you to receive the Mercer discount? We receive a fuel card. You have to use that fuel card to receive the discount. Mercer, when you get the, hang on. Hey, it's enough. Lay down. Lay down. Mercer, when you receive the load, they will give you a percentage of the load for the fuel. I've never been in a situation where I did not receive enough money to buy the fuel to finish the trip. So, but once again, that's kind of a recruiting question. They will tell you exact percentages of how they work that out and stuff like that. What is your average speed and your average miles per gallon? I run right around 67 miles an hour. Loaded, I'm about 4.5 to 5 miles a gallon. Light, somewhere between 6.5 is what I do. I don't run fast. I used to years ago, but even today with the high speed limit, running fast, all I'm doing is sucking up fuel and wearing out my truck. So I run about 67. That keeps me just above a lot of the company trucks, but I'm not really hauling ass. Let's see here. Have you ever considered changing the appearance of your truck with lights? I'm not a big truck light guy. To me, a lot of lights mean a lot of maintenance, a lot of upkeep, changing bulbs, making sure they work. Corroded lines. So I'm not a big light guy, but that's just my kind of personal preference. 10 speed versus a 13 speed. I would say the biggest difference is going up a hill. 13 speed, you can split the gears a lot more, so it just kind of gives you a little bit more going up the hill. I would say it's been a long time since I drove a 10 speed, but I would say the biggest difference is just going up a hill. You're probably going to go up just a little bit slower. Did you retire from the Army? I don't know if I covered that one. No, I did not. Let's see. I get this one asked a lot. What kind of motor do I have? I have a C15 Caterpillar, 435 horsepower with a 13-speed transmission. I have 1.2 million miles on my motor without any major overhaul. She's not burning oil. She'll go about 10,000 miles before she burns a gallon of oil. She's not leaking. I did have to replace one injector. I replaced the water pump, alternator, air compressor, oil cooler. So I've replaced about everything on the outside of the motor. I have not had to get to the inside yet. I don't know. I'm hoping to get 1.4 million. It's about $20,000 to rebuild the motor. So I need to start saving my pennies for that. let's see, what's the major difference between flatbed and step deck? And this is my opinion. Most step deck guys are hauling flatbed freight. Most step deck freight, well, from what I see, travels a long distance. So if you want to be a coast-to-coast guy with oversized load, do step deck. If you want to be a guy that wants to be home every weekend and just go out, do your thing, come back, I would recommend a flatbed. You know, flatbed to me is kind of the workhorse of the industry. As far as I know, I don't see a lot of local step deck work. Most of it is just standard flatbed. So, and you know, and a step deck costs more money than a flatbed. So, you know, I don't know if it would justify, you know, getting. I don't want a step deck. You know, I'm happy with the flatbed. I know the freight with the flatbed, and like I said, most of the freight that I see is for flatbed or step deck. So, you know, I would rather have just a standard flatbed. Let's see. What is your favorite brand of truck? Like I said, I fell into this truck here. I did not go looking for a Peterbilt. I'm really not that brand loyal. If I was to buy another truck, it would be a Volvo or an International with a Cummins engine in it. Inexpensive. Cummins are easy to work on. They're relatively easy to fix in the shop. So, but that's my opinion. Everybody, it's like, you know, do you drive a Ford or a Chevy? Everybody has opinion about that. You know, my opinion on C15, I would not buy a C15 Cat with twin turbos. A lot of work, you know. I just, you know, but like I said, that's just kind of hearsay that I hear around the truck stop and from guys I see broke down on the road. You know, to me, if I was getting another truck, it would be a Cummins engine is what I've been looking at. Let's see, we did the load securement. I think that's it. I think I covered the job and career. So I think that's it. Let's see, we're at 24 minutes, so I think that's pretty good right there. Once again, thank you for all the support. The channel has really took off the last couple of weeks. And we'll do some more question and answer. I try to acknowledge every comment that I get, even if it's a thumbs up or hey, thanks for watching. You know, as I get more and more subscribers, you know, I get more and more messages, which is good. I like that, and I try to acknowledge. You know, if somebody took the time to write me a message, I at least want to try to take that time to acknowledge it. So I appreciate all the support and the advice, and you know, keep coming up with ideas. Like I said, I try. When I started this, I really did not want to be a how-to videos. And it's kind of morphed into that. I finally found a formula that works for me. I like to show kind of the daily activities of driving a truck, a little bit of the scenery, show my loads, you know, and when I first started, I tried to do a video every day, but man, it would take me 4 to 6 hours to edit a video. So I'm trying to do about every other day or so. I found a better editing software, and I've kind of found a formula that's quick for me. You know, if you kind of watch my videos, it's kind of the same formula. You know, good morning, how things going, ride around truck stop, show a little bit of scenery, and this is our load for the day, and then kind of the end of the day wrap up of, hey, this is what happened, this is how things went. So anyway, but once again, I appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching, and we'll try this again and see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.